He's like, everyone else is already doing it anyways.
I might as well get back to it.
I'm the one who started it.
I still got fresh legs.
So, give me a take or a tangent on it, KB.
Here's my tangent on fake liberal Seattle Seahawks.
Explain Frank Clark. Explain Malik McDowell.
He rejuvenated himself. McDowell was a former 5-star high school prospect who is slowly going to materialize into a lesser version
but
of...
what I'm saying is they both have like serious off-field like violence things.
Yeah, but
and here you have Kaepernick who's active in the community.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, and Travion Boykin who took him like 4 strikes to finally get cut by the Seahawks.
Yeah, but I'm talking about fake... Okay, let's go fake woke. That's probably better. Fake woke Seahawks. You get rid of Richard Sherman. You get rid of all the leaders in the locker room pretty much. Because let's be honest, Russell Wilson isn't really the alpha male that you would... Like, he's good. He's a good manager, suit and tie. He'll say all the right things. He's a great company man. But he is not an alpha male on that team. Like, I'm pretty sure if he tried to say something slick back in the day, someone on that defense would have slapped him across the face and dared the offensive line to do something about it. And they probably wouldn't have done anything about it. Just based off how we see how many times he gets sacked a game and run for his life. So,
the weird thing is,
tangent...
Okay, can I just hop in on this tangent that you're on?
Go ahead.
The weird thing is, though, like, as much as we've shitted on Russell Wilson pretty much his whole entire career.
Even at Wisconsin and North Carolina State, I saw what he was.
I think he's the perfect quarterback for the Seahawks semi-dynasty that they had.
A white-black dude? A black-white dude?
And hear me out. Here's why.
Culturally ambiguous? There we go. That's what he is.
Because bullies matter?
No, I'll get to Richie Incognito in a minute.
No, but what I'm saying is how you're talking about how the defense would slap him, blah, blah, blah. And what I'm saying is you're probably right, but I feel like that's definitely had an impact on who Russell Wilson is. And I feel like I don't want to say he's getting better from it, but
he had older brothers to toughen him up, so therefore he's better for it.
And we've seen the narrative change on him. We've seen Russell Wilson, applaud him. We've seen Earl Thomas. We've seen Richard Cam Chancellor. Michael Bennett just dropped a book where he had like a bunch of pages pretty much praising him. So it's like...
And he beat Future, let's be honest.
So like, yeah, he is this dude that we've always kind of seen him as like a monotone Dan Patrick dude who plays quarterback.
No, he's not Dan Patrick. Dan Patrick has personality.
But...
Like, it's booming.
I think being on the Seahawks really has had an impact.
Some people looked at Russell like Norm Macdonald. He's cool, but after a while he gets annoying, and he's not really what you want, like your first choice, but he's still cool. But anyway, back to the whole tangent. A guy like Kaepernick of his stature and what he's about, he's not going to stop his activism and all the stuff he works for in the community. So naturally, as a man, you're going to probably lean toward a guy like that in the locker room and know that he can still play, because he can still play. And if Russ gets hurt or throws 5 picks in a game or has to miss a game, and Kaepernick, all it takes is one start to lose your job. All it takes is one play to lose your job. So you put him in that locker room with the Seattle Seahawks, and team's going to be like, good for him. They're going to be chatting him up, and the media's going to make him a bigger story than he actually is. And people in the Seahawks organization, mainly Pete Carroll and whoever else is Pete Carroll's cool with, GM and all that, they're going to have a narrative the same way they had a narrative to kind of shut down Marshawn Lynch. Different personalities, but same effect. Kaepernick, Lynch, both alpha males in how they conduct their business. And the fact that they want to say it's Russell's team, you're not going to bring in another alpha QB who could usurp him in a perfect world to even be a backup. Like, what's the point? You could just look to the draft and try to find something. But that's not that. The fact that they decided to rescind their offer they really never were going. They were always paying lip service. They were never going to sign Kaepernick. Because remember the first time they tried him out, they signed some trash QB. I don't even remember his name, but he's trash, and he probably knows he sucks.
I think they re-signed Trayvon Boykin.
No, I'm not. Aside from Boykin, I'm talking about a white QB the first time. It was a white QB. He may have played in Cleveland. Third stringer.
I don't know. I think it was Boykin.
No, it wasn't. Boykin was already there.
No, because they cut him for a bit.
No,
or his contract expired.
Dude,
and
they
then
brought in a white QB after the first time. That's what I'm saying. And nobody was like, why the hell? It wasn't Matt Flynn, but I'll look it up. But they brought in a dude who was never going to play. And
all right, let's move on to the next topic.
Bottom line. So it's like, it's just lip service that they really don't want Kaepernick. They want him, but they know what it's going to come with. So they'd rather just say, well, at least we tried. You didn't really try. You didn't really want him. Don't even get me started on RG3 in Baltimore.
We already talked about that all last week. You can listen to last week's show if you want to hear KB on Robert Griffin III. All right. So this is something we already alluded to a little bit earlier.
One.
Aldon Smith was caught up. He actually went into, as part of his either parole or probation. I'm not exactly sure. So I don't want to, slander him too much. But he basically went in for a regularly scheduled drug test. And, well, he had a 0.4 blood alcohol level.
Which legally means you should be unconscious or near death. Literally. Like, that's the definition.
And that's not 0.04. We're talking about 0.4. We're talking about 40%.
To the 10th place.
We're talking about 5 times the legal limit to drive. Whatever he drank,
absinthe,
a fifth of it,
the devil's piss,
he's too drunk to drive. So think about
a fourth of it.
We all know everyone's gotten behind the wheel with a little bit too much to drink.
I never have.
So just think about getting behind the wheel where you're a little bit buzzed and times that by 5, and that's where Aldon Smith is at.
To the point where you should be unconscious, or you should be dead from alcohol poisoning.
He was like,
that's how drunk he was.
He was basically double white girl wasted.
He was white girl wasted
times 2
on spring break in
Worse
Florida.
than that.
In Florida,
worse than that.
On a flight to Cuba. That's how drunk he was.
So, do you got to take your tangent?
Here's my take. I really hope he gets help because it would be really sad to see this dude die. To see how far he fell. And the league, did they even really do much to help the guy?
They didn't. They just kind of abandoned him.
And then they would never reinstate him so he could actually get back on the field where you could see, okay, he may not be who he was.
Not even about getting back on the field, but just about getting back into the organization and, like, having people you can talk to.
Who could help him, at least. I feel like he would have like, grown and matured with Khalil Mack and Bruce Irvin. At least off the field. Like, it's just kind of sad. They really, like, the NFL failed that dude. Like, yeah, he failed himself, but there was really not much to pick him up. It was different. It's different than the Foster situation, like we alluded to earlier. This dude was abusing himself. He had problems back to Missouri. That kind of just were either swept under the rug or Gary Pinkel. They could take care of him when he was there at Missouri. But
I mean, that's a lot of colleges. That's basically kind of how they're set up. Yeah,
the NFL failed him.
Pretty much, my take is pretty much the same as yours. I think this dude just really needs to get help, and fortunately, he's probably. I don't know what he needs because I don't really know him, so I don't know if he needs rehab. Therapy. I don't know if he needs jail time.
Therapy is a start. No one needs jail time when it comes to substance abuse like that. Jail time is only gonna just make it worse. All that isolation. Like, he knows he's wrong. Like, when you talk to an addict and they're in jail, like, it gets to the point where they know what they did was wrong, but there's a but, and that but should be addressed through therapy. That's where you got to start. Like, he needs extensive therapy. Flush out everything, your process, just everything. His life, childhood, all that. Because, man, he got some monsters, and I really hope he gets that straightened out. It's pretty sad.
All right, so the next one I want to talk
Thanks,
about.
Pete.
What?
Just really brought down the whole mood.
Yeah, man. Well, it's probably going to keep going there. So the next one is Brett Favre. He appeared on a panel about sports and head injuries this week. And basically he said he probably had thousands of concussions over his football career.
The fact that he said thousands, you know he's had hundreds of concussions because his numerical value is way off. He didn't play for a lot of his younger career with coming out of Southern Mississippi and being the backup for the Falcons. So in Green Bay, yeah, I can believe it. He played reckless. I feel like he's had definitely hundreds of concussions. Him of all people. Definitely, I would believe that. And it's kind of sad.
Yeah, man. Especially because the way he played, just reckless abandonment. He was really an Iron Man. I think he had a pretty long start streak for a minute.
Yeah, he was the Iron Man.
For seasons he had.
I think it actually is.
And the way,
top streak.
the way he sacrificed his body, getting hit, throwing his body,
he's the all-time touchdowns and interceptions leader at one point.
Yeah, man. So
that's crazy.
So
he's the Ric Flair of football. And Ric Flair's the Brett Favre of wrestling. Quotables.
I just had to write out with a pause on that one. That was a good metaphor. Every once in a while, KB has a good joke or two, you know.
All the time. I spread it out.
Next one, Cordell Patterson. He appeared on, I think it was Good Morning Football or Get Up Football. One of those. It
was Good Morning Football on NFL Network.
Oh, okay. Now you know. Interesting.
I've always known.
Uh huh. All right. So
Nick Burleson's one of the hosts.
Yeah, he's actually pretty dope. I actually met him.
He's really dope.
So Patterson appeared. They asked him about Marquette King, his former teammate with the Raiders, fellow special teams standout. And basically, and I'm paraphrasing here, Patterson said people didn't really like King. He was like, I respected him, but for whatever reason, people didn't really like him. So you got to take our tangent because I know we've been talking about this a lot.
Especially in the group chat. Tangent. Get off that man's nuts. If it wasn't for Johnny Hecker, he really would have been one of the best punters in football. He's really the third best punter in football. But with special teams, you can only pick one. So the fact that he came from a historically black college, pretty much taught himself how to punt, self-made, and really earned the respect from at least his fellow punters and kickers. Because he progressed. He got better every year. And he really held down the Raiders when they needed it. And, yeah, he was sassy and he had some swag about himself. But so what? There's plenty of running backs, quarterbacks, other guys on the team who have swag, and they're trash. They're trash. I'm going to say it again. They're trash. And I really spoke deeply into the mic just now. Too close to the mic. They're trash. And they know who they are. And this cat was one of the best punters in football, and you don't like him because of his personality? Okay. Well, did he beat anybody? Did he, do black tar heroin? Did he hold anybody hostage at gunpoint? Did he punch a meter maid? Oh, no. He has an eclectic personality, and he happens to be a punter. And it's not like he was soft. He actually, he had a couple fake punts and actually ran and got a couple first downs. He wasn't afraid of contact. So I think the Raiders really gave away an asset, all because they don't like his personality. But it's you know what? A guy like Patterson, I think because at times, realistically, he could be seen as a bust for where he was taken in the draft and the fact that he's never materialized into a number one receiver. but he was an all-pro kick returner, and honestly, he's probably going to play running back for the Patriots. Belichick's